Greetings everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna talk about backup and how I went around backing up all my stuff, let's say. So it's a bit of a preamble at the start of this video, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. So a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, I built my home server. This is it right here, with Nextcloud and Plex and all this stuff, and it's been working great, like amazingly. The best thing I ever built, and it's saved so much time and frustration and everything. It's working amazing, backing up all my photos from my phone, from my computer, from, well, everything. So everything is synced, everything's available in the cloud, and it's my cloud. You know, I built it, I manage it, and, well, I take care of it, and my data is my own. It's not in somebody's cloud, you know. You know what they say about the cloud? The cloud is just somebody else's computer. Well, in this case, it's my computer. And a good idea when you have this kind of things is to have backups, because you never know what's going to happen. So you need to have backups. Okay, the server is running in RAID arrays, so I'm kind of safe there in case one of the drives fails. The data is stored on the other drive, but that's not enough. So there's the 3-2-1 backup solution, yeah? At least 3 copies, 2 of them on different 2 backups on different media, and at least 1 of them off-site, which means in a different location, yeah? So how I went around backing up until a few months ago was literally just getting a USB hard drive, plugging it in, copying everything, and, well, that's your backup, yeah? Doing this once or twice a week or something like that whenever I remembered about it. But since I built the NAS, which is up there, lives up there, well, everything is backed up there, so yeah, that takes the hassle of plugging in and copying manually all this stuff, which is great. But what about the offsite? Yeah, because okay, but I backed up everything, it's here, it's on the NAS, NAS has RAID as well, so redundancy everywhere. But what if something happens? And this balcony, which is my studio, workshop, and home server room, what happens then? Well, you need an offsite copy, yeah? So in case the place burns down, there's another copy which is kept in another place. So whatever is affecting this building or this area, it's not going to affect that. But again, a good solution would be cloud backups. But I don't want to pay. I don't want to host all my private pictures and information and documents on somebody else's computer. Because I don't. Plus I like tinkering with these kind of things, so it's, you know, gets my jollies on. So I've been looking into it. I was trying to get rsync to work and stuff like that, and it's proved such a pain in the butt to set up, and especially when you're doing it remotely to another computer. Maybe I'm just not that good at it, and that's definitely a possibility. Our rsync is pretty powerful and a good piece of software, but I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So after a few digging days, I found about Syncthing. And Syncthing is amazing, especially for this kind of thing. And you can back up, well, like the name implies, it's basically a synchronizing agent. But you can use it for many other things. You can use it on your phone, or your computers, on your tablets, on your whatever. And it makes the job of backing up remotely, the stuff you have, a lot easier with none of the hassle of setting up like rsync does with keys and encryption and all this stuff. It's still a very secure system, but it makes it a lot easier to set up. So, enough talking, let's get on to it. Let me show you how I backed up my whole life, basically. Quick intermission from the editing room. The reason why I'm talking about remotely about rsync and Syncthing is because this backup solution is going to be deployed to my friend's house, who lives like an hour and a half away from my place. So yeah, if you are planning to do something like this, please encrypt your hard drives. So I'm going to encrypt them, but I trust them anyway. But needless to say, I will encrypt them. So yeah, thought I'd mention it here since I forgot to mention it. So for the hardware on the remote side, I'm going to be using this. This is a 2-bay external hard drive enclosure. Don't know who even makes this IC box. I don't know. Picked it up years ago for other projects. But since I'm using old hard drives, these are second-hand hard drives, I would like to use them in RAID, so this would come in handy. It's just USB data to the host computer, and that's about it. Speaking of the host computer, I'm gonna be using this. This is a Radsa Rock 2F. single board computer. It's a very low cost, low power single board computer because again, I'm running it at my friend's house. So, well, I don't want the whole computer there to just for backup solution. This would be more than fast enough. It's not the fastest thing ever, but it's fast enough for what it needs to be. And to keep the rock protected, thanks to today's sponsor PCBWay, we gotta send a box of goodies. Did you know they do 3D printing now? Well, they do. So, they were kind enough to sponsor the channel by sending us a couple of 3D prints for the enclosure for the Rock 2F to keep everything nice and tidy. And these turned out great. I'm really thankful for them for sponsoring such a small channel like mine and sending these free of charge. PCBWay, it's your one-stop shop for printed circuit boards, manufacturing, assembly, 3D printing, and CNC machining. To order a PCB, just click on the Instant Quote button, upload your Gerber files, and then customize the PCB to your specifications. Check the link in the video description for more information, and once again, thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. So let's start with the software, simple enough. This will go for both machines because, well, it's basically the same thing. So sudo apt install Syncthing, and that will download and install Syncthing. It won't start it for you, but that's a good thing, as we'll come to see in a second. So just go through that. Then we're gonna add a user for Syncthing so it doesn't run on a current user or the root user since it's not indicated as such. So user add -m, so it creates a folder for it. Name it whatever you want. In my case, I named it Syncthing. Then in my case, I'm gonna add the user to the group www.data, since that's where I store all my photos and everything backed up with the Nextcloud, since that's the group that's owning it. Then we're gonna enable the Syncthing service, making sure it's spelled correctly and using the user that we just created. Then we're gonna start the service, and in order to configure everything, we go to our browser, type in the IP address and the port 8384, and as we can see, it's not working. That's because out of the box, Syncthing is only configured to allow access from the local machine. Since this is a headless machine, both of them are, I'm gonna have to enable access from other IPs except the local ones. We just go to the configuration file that is listed here. Remember to change the user to the one that you're using. And in the config file, we're gonna scroll down to the address and we're gonna change it to 0.0.0.0, which means it will allow access to anybody to access it. And here you can also change the port if you need to, but for my purposes, I don't need to. Then we're going to restart the service to make sure these changes take effect. And now if we go back to our browser and refresh, we can see that where I'm just going to say no to this anonymous usage. And it's very well letting us know that we should set a password since it doesn't have one. So I'm just going to quickly set up username and a password for that and then log in with it. And that's it, Syncthing is set up. So in order to back up our files, we're going to add a folder, choosing the path where your files reside. I'm just going to use this one in my home folder for now, giving it a name, whatever it is, so you can easily identify it. And in my case, in advanced, I'm going to choose the folder type. I'm going to say send only, since I'm only planning to send files from here, not to synchronize them. Synchronizing will keep a synchronized copy of both, so if you delete on one computer, on the other one it will get deleted as well. In my case, I don't want that. I just want this folder to send files only. And if we go on the other machine, which we set up exactly the same way, since they're both Linux-based, Debian in this case, based machines, we're going to go into Action, Show ID. We're going to copy our ID, or you can scan a QR code if you want to use your phone or something like that. There are some unofficial Android ports. We're going to go to the server and click on Add Remote Device. We're going to input the ID. You can give it a name. In my case, I'm going to call it Rock, so I can differentiate it from my other devices. And that's it. If we go back to the Rock, it's going to prompt us if you want to trust this device and add it. I trust it, I know what it is, I'm gonna add it, and that's it. The two devices are now connected. but they're not sharing anything yet. In order to do that, we're going to go to the server, click on Edit, Sharing. We're going to choose our device that we want to share it with, click Share, and that's it. Then going back to the rock, again, we're going to receive a notification that I want to share these files. Would you like to add a new folder? I'm going to click Add, choose the location where you want to save your files. Click Yes, and that's it. They're going to start synchronizing and transferring files over the internet. So this is way easier to set up than rsync, in my experience at least. If you have any suggestions, I'm more than happy to listen to them. But this for me felt a lot easier, maybe because it has a GUI, so it's easier to set up. But Syncthing has clients for Windows, Linux obviously. There are some unofficial Android ports if you want to take a look at them. But this makes backing up my things a lot easier than ever before, especially to a remote location far away from me. So yeah, that's it. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, thanks for watching. If you did like the video, consider subscribing, and catch you for the next one.